do. Bam! Look at this. What's up, everybody? DukeOfDC here, and we just keep getting spoiled by this dealership, which I've never given a proper shout out. So, Motorcycles of Dulles in Dulles, Virginia, Sterling area, near the Dulles Airport. You guys are the best, so I appreciate it. It's not easy getting a test ride out here when you're this age, you know? But more importantly, today, check out what we're taking out, the R1200GS. Now, this is a bike that I have adored for such a long time. Just the usability and everything, the fact that it's such a beast, and it can, you know, the first thing you think of when you hear GS is probably taking it around the world, some sort of adventure, right? This is the adventure bike of all adventure bikes. And nowadays with the KTM 1190, Adventure Rs, Triumph Explorers, Ducati Multistradas, sort of, even though they're kind of the prissy version of it. And what else? Just, you know, even the FJ09. Different brands are starting to bring these kind of bikes out. The adventure bikes are a real big deal now, so yeah. But you don't want to hear me talk about it, you want to hear me ride it. Oh, and she's tall, but I am 5'9", 30-inch inseam, and I feel good. I feel better than I do on the Tuono. It's got just about everything, as you can imagine. It's got dynamic suspension, it has ABS, it has the little freaking crazy wheel, it's got cruise control, it's got gear shift assist up, I don't believe it has it down, and then something I've never actually used is keyless entry. So you're supposed to just press that button. Okay, that comes on, and then there she goes. I doubt she'd been started in a while. So much torque, holy cow. Oh my god, that is a responsive, ridiculously responsive throttle. Okay, so R1200GS, this is not the adventure model, this is the standard GS. It does have the dynamic dampening controlled suspension, as I said. It has 3 rider modes. I am right now in dynamic mode, which is the full power mode. And I'm also in 1-up suspension with normal settings. The other settings are Enduro and Rain mode. Now, the dealer was telling me that the Enduro mode gives it still like a ton of torque down low, right? Because that's what you want when you're out on the trails. But it also makes it just that much more usable on the trails. Broheim, Bohemian Rhapsody. This thing is a monster bike. It just feels like a monster truck. Like, you feel like a car on the road. It's kind of awesome. And it's so comfortable. You know, I come off of the Aprilia Tuono onto bikes like this, and it's not shocking that they're more comfortable. So for comparison's sake, this is like riding on a pillow when the Tuono is like riding on a rock, okay? But they're completely different bikes. So the suspension on this is more cushy, the seat is much more cushy and wider, and of course you're up and back, and the bars are up and back. I love it, man. I love it. You know, honestly though, the type of off-roading that this bike can do is much different than what your initial thought is. Maybe when you're like a younger guy and you see one of these and you're like, oh my god, I have to have an R1200GS. I want to take it around the world. That is possible. However, what wouldn't be possible is taking this on like single track stuff, unless you are extraordinarily skilled, right? Because it's still a massive bike. It's tall, it's very well balanced, I'll give it that, right? Like, you don't feel the weight when you're actually riding it, but on the trails, I'm sure it would start feeling like a little Piggly Wiggly. Okay, so that quick shifter is not nearly as smooth as the XR. It gets the job done, right? And if you're on the gas, then it's absolutely fine, but at low speed stuff, it's really not as smooth as the XR. However, it's still a quick shifter, which is awesome. It is so ridiculously torquey though, like, for For a bike that weighs as much as this bike does, it doesn't feel like it when you start ham-fisting the throttle. It feels like a little dirt bike with heaps of torque. Let's put the suspension in soft mode. Let's put the mode in rain mode and just see what it would be like on like the most laziest of rides. Oh my, it's so soft. It's so cushy. And then let's do this. So this little thing adjusts the windscreen. My mirrors are actually done correctly this time. Sound is pretty incredible too. This is the stock exhaust. It's got that same little after note, right? The backfire noise that all the BMWs have nowadays. It's a little bit different. It's not as raspy when you come off. It's not as like, but it gives a great sound. Whoa! Torque City, bitch. What else can I say about this? So, who is this perfect for? Who is this bike built for? You know, I would say that this is a bike that's made for someone who's maybe a little bit older. Not to say that someone my age couldn't own one of these and it would just be like, dude, what are you doing? But I see this being somebody who's older because it is, you know, it's an expensive bike. I don't particularly know how much. Is that the price? No, that's not the price. But I imagine this is closer to the $20,000 range, if not at it or surpassing it a little bit with all the add-ons and the DDC suspension and stuff like that. So someone maybe in their early 40s who used to ride, that wants something that's adventurous, you know, that they can throw a second person on and take like a, you know, week-long road trip without even thinking about if they're gonna get sore. Oh my God. All right, we got the power back into dynamic mode. We're putting the suspension into normal. Boom. Dynamic, bitch. Dynamic everything. It is a very nice looking bike, right? So aesthetically though, it's so nice looking that I would feel like a total bag if I ever dropped it on the trails, which is, it's gonna happen, it's inevitable. It's got this kind of beautiful over panelage on the tank. You can see the boxerness to it on each side here poking out. BMW, BMW, there's BMW behind me, there's BMW on the sides. BMW is not shy about telling people what kind of bike you're riding. One of the things that I miss though about naked bikes whenever I'm on a bike that's fully fared and is protecting me really well is the wind on my helmet to keep the air circulating throughout my helmet, you know? Especially in the summer, right? It's almost 90 degrees out today, so it's kind of a necessary thing. It's a necessary evil. Oh, we found Mansion Row. Big house, big house, big house. Let's pull over and I'll show you guys what's up. R1200GS. What a beast. Good Lord. Let's see what the turning circle is like. No feet, no feet, no feet, no feet, no feet. Easy. Miles per hour feels, you know, just like 65, 70. It doesn't feel like it's at the top end of anything. It feels like it's got a lot more to go. Man, you're so high up too. It's just like this commanding position. I love it. In fact, let's make it a little bit higher. That's so f***ing cool. Let's throw this a gear. Did this turn? Oh my God. Is that not in? Oh. so if the key falls off the bike, what happens then? I'm pretty sure I almost lost the key right there. Alright guys, R1200GS, an amazing bike. I mean, I knew that going into this, but I've always wanted to take one for a ride. It was honestly the first bike that I ever drooled over when I started wanting a street bike, and I'm glad that this reaffirmed everything that I thought, you know. That being said, this isn't a bike that I can see myself buying in the next like 10-15 years. You know, before I ever bought one of these, just because I don't have a purpose for it, it would just kind of sit in my garage and be a commuter. And although it would be a very comfortable commuter, I'd feel pretty bad just having it sit there and not actually take it on a proper adventure. I still love the S1000 XR. I think that might be the best bike BMW has ever made. At least of the newer bikes, the ones that I've test rode, it is my favorite hands down. This thing is great though. It has a lot more torque, which you feel immediately. It's smooth, but it's not as smooth as the RR and the XRs. But it's just as comfortable as anything you could ever imagine, right? I mean, you're sitting back, you're sitting on this plush seat, you put the cruise control on and you just pull one of these. And then people look at you funny because they're like, how is that guy doing this? Magic, bitch. So that's it for this vlog. I'm heading back to the dealership now. Again, huge shout out to Motorcycles of Dulles. I'll probably put a link in the description below to their website. They've really hooked me up recently with a bunch of test rides, and I appreciate it. It builds the channel and it lets me test ride bikes that I've never been on, which is one of my favorite things to do. Just experience everything and anything in motorcycles. Stickers are for sale. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more if you're new. A lot of new people watch the reviews. Stick around for some of my moto vlogs. Go check them out. And I'll check you guys out on the next one. Peace! Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Oh my god, this feels more nimble than I could have ever expected. I wonder if it's because you just have so much torque with these bars. Endless torque. Torgasm. A torque-gasm. I just had a torque-gasm. Oh. Look at that ass sweat. So that's it, guys. Motorcycles of Dulles. Check them out. BMW R1200GS. Now you know. I knew it was going to be a great bike.